And welcome to the first breakout session of the day. Trade serves as a powerful catalyst for economic empowerment. Today's session centers on how women entrepreneurs can transcend local markets to seize global opportunities. With the right support, networks, and policies, women-led businesses can flourish in international trade, driving economic growth and fostering inclusive development. We are privileged to host two distinguished speakers who bring extensive expertise and first-hand experience in this domain. Please welcome Dr. Samina Taslim Zahra, Economic Minister at the Pakistan High Commission in London. Dr. Zahra has been instrumental in promoting Pakistan's economic interests abroad and has actively engaged in initiatives to support women entrepreneurs in accessing international markets. And Dr. Misbah Katana, founder of the Khadijah Women Global Trade Network. Dr. Katana leads this transformative initiative aimed at empowering women in international trade. Her efforts have been recognized globally, including receiving the International Prize for Gender Equality in Trade from the World Trade Organization. Together, they will share valuable perspectives on navigating global markets, overcoming trade barriers, and leveraging networks for success. Please welcome the speakers.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I'm Dr. Samina Zahra. I'm Pakistan's Economic Minister at the High Commission, London. I have served as a public servant for about 25 years. I've also worked in the UN. I'm passionate about promoting entrepreneurs from Pakistan and women in international trade. And I very proudly stand here on behalf of all Pakistani women. Some of them you can see on the screen. Yes, Pakistani women, they scale mountains, they win Oscars, they win international accolades in sports, and overcome very many personal challenges to get all that they want in life. So we will be shattering many taboos as well today. We have actually broken our workshop in 3 segments. In the first few minutes, I'll be taking you through some of the public policy interventions that Pakistan has put in place to empower women economically and to enhance its soft power. And after that, Dr. Misbah will be talking about Khadijah Program in more detail. And in the last segment of this workshop, we will be giving you 3 problem scenarios in international trade, and you will be coming up with workable solutions based on Khadijah Framework and Khadijah Toolkit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've already heard a lot about how fragmented our world is today, and despite all our efforts and despite all the material progress that we have made, we are more fragmented than ever before. There are rising global divisions, economic, political, social, and ironically, internet and connectivity that we thought will bring us together is actually driving us apart. So we have to pause and think why that is happening. There is lack of agency of women and marginalized communities, not only marginalized communities, but also smaller nations. They find it difficult to make their voices heard across the globe. So why there is lack of collective action on urgent causes like climate change? Why we haven't been able to bridge the trust deficit and the fear that AI has brought into our lives? So in this broader context of uncertainty, and despite several internal political and economic challenges and external challenges, Pakistan has consistently maintained it has been a voice of multilateralism and women economic empowerment. And it has, people-to-people contact has always taken a center stage in our policy making. And we believe that it's through cultural, educational, and non-political engagements that we can actually prepare a model of sustainable economic development. So women's, if you have been following national news or international media from Pakistan, you will see an increase of women in terms of their public policy roles, leadership, and increased visibility even in political terms. And this is being recognized globally. As you know, one of our programs has won WTO's prize for best program internationally in promoting women entrepreneurs. So some of the more specific policy interventions have been made through programs like Khadijah and another more recent one that's called UDAN. But the main features of these programs have been the economic empowerment, enhanced mobility, digital inclusion, leadership opportunities, and protection of rights. And in terms of economic empowerment, there are several soft loans that are available to women who want to start their businesses. There is a lot of upskilling opportunity, training opportunity available. And in terms of mobility, which remains a big issue in Pakistan, recently a program, Women on Wheels, has been launched through which soft loans are being given to women to acquire motorbikes or bikes. And training training is also being provided to them. So now I quickly want to shift my focus to the role that economic diplomacy can play in today's world. We've heard a lot about the hard power, the soft power, the push and the pull, but I want to say that economic diplomatic space actually provides a kind of a free-floating space. It can do a lot without ruffling any political feathers. So I think it's time that we started rediscovering and reshaping and renaming economic diplomats as bridge builders. So if we were to think out of the box in terms of our role as economic diplomats, we can use it as a driver of change, as promoting multilateralism, enhancing the role of soft power that can eventually affect the hard power. It can advance the agency of less heard voices. And of course, the people-to-people contact can be enhanced through using the platforms of economic diplomacy. So within this broad umbrella, my specific office has taken a lot of initiatives, and some of my milestones have been connecting entrepreneurs from Pakistan with businesses all across the world, including UK, promoting skill and technology transfer. You can see a bunch of students, engineering students from Pakistan at McLaren headquarters. I've been promoting women-led international trade for goods and services. Collaboration and partnerships have taken place. So in a way, we are providing an alternate perspective to the whole economic diplomacy by making it more people-centric. So this is what I think is the need of the hour. I'm going to skip this slide in the interest of time, but I want to just leave you with a small clip. It's a powerful, recent clip. And while it will break several taboos in terms of Pakistani women, if you just keep the image in mind and think of multilateralism as a peg that's been fixed in the earth, and here is someone, economic diplomats and political leaders who are trying to sort of salvage it from the earth. So it is doable, it's difficult, it requires a lot of focus and concentration and balancing act, but it is certainly possible. I'll leave you with this video and then hand over to Dr. Misbah. Thank you.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thanks, Amina, for getting us to this stage. I'm Misbah. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm Misbah Katana. I am with the government of Pakistan for more than 25 years. I have a PhD from the University of Cambridge, where I've taught labor market issues and studies. And I am the founder of the Khadijah Women Entrepreneurship Program and the Women Global Trade Network. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. Just give me a minute. Let me get to my place. Sorry. And I'll be explaining how the Khadijah program took women from local areas of work into the global supply chain and global thing. Before I do that, though, I want to introduce someone to you, if that's okay. I've traveled the world. I've met many women and men who work in labor markets, and we know that labor markets around the world are very diverse. But there's somehow some elements of a labor market that are very unique to all women. What I'm going to introduce to you, if you'll allow, a young woman I met who is 23 years old. She works in a factory in Lahore, Pakistan, where I'm from. So is that okay? Can I introduce her to you? Yes. Okay, so for that, I need your help. Could I ask you all to sit up really straight? Feet firmly on the ground. Yeah. Now move forward in your seats, all the way to the edge, like sitting on the edge of your seats. Thank you. If I can ask you to put your hands out like you're sitting at a table and lean forward like you were working at a table. Now, look at your hands. Tilt your heads down. A little more. Freeze. I cannot raise my head and look up. I start at 9 in the morning and sit at a machine and I work until 1. That's 4 hours at once. But when my neck really hurts, because I have been bent over the sewing machine for so long and I do look up, it could be that I look at a man. They're all around. And what if, just by chance, I catch someone's eye? What if he does something, winks at me or leers at me, or worse, talks to others about me looking at him, and they start saying, I like looking at men. So I try not to move, to raise my head and look up. Okay, you got it. You've just embodied a very extreme case of what many women around the world have to do when they go to work. But now let me bring you to a much more comfortable space. I want to talk about the purpose of the Khadijah Program. In a nutshell, the Khadijah Program was made to enable women in Pakistan to get onto the global supply and value chains, to go from the local to the global and get into international trade in services as well as products. Why did we name it the Khadijah Program? Very simply because Khadijah is a lady who I could only say is the first lady of Islam. She was the wife of our Prophet ﷺ, and she was highly emancipated, very powerful, and a businesswoman. And she was a trader, but not just any trader. She was an international trader. She was in imports and exports. Can I play this? How do I play this?
Yeah, it's playing.
Okay. This is the Khadijah Program.
Launched by Pakistan Single Window, is a groundbreaking initiative aimed at empowering women entrepreneurs in Pakistan.
मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प मिली स्केल अप करने के लिए कि कैसे मैं अपने बिज़नेस को ग्लोबली प्रमोट कर सकती हूँ.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारी जो मशीनें हैं वो ज़म्बिया में जो हैं वो एक्सपोर्ट हो रही हैं.
Because of PSW's event Khadijah, we were given an opportunity to go to Kazakhstan and represent Pakistan in a B2B trade event.
I think one of the reasons that the Khadijah program is so successful is that it is designed to be very focused and targeted. Ultimately, it's about providing a targeted access to information, access to financial and digital literacy, access to B2B and B2C connections, and ultimately access to the global markets.
The Khadijah program was awarded the first international prize for gender equality in trade, recently introduced by the World Trade Organization.
It's a great achievement that this program has won the award for being the most innovative program globally in a global ceremony which is being held at the WTO under the Public Forum 2024. It's a great achievement for Pakistan, and it's a great achievement for participation of women in trade in Pakistan.
Khadijah Women Entrepreneurship Program strive.
We won the award. Hey. I'm going to go to the needs assessment, why it was made, and what makes it successful. because when we were making and developing the Khadijah program, it was to answer a proper, thorough needs assessment was done of women in the trade ecosystem and what their needs were, and we answered them through creating three basic, broad-based pillars: access to information, access to financial and digital literacy, and international marketing and B2B connections, and getting into global markets. It also aligns with the government of Pakistan's growth agenda, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. So what is the Khadijah framework, and how does it apply or answer many of the needs of the women? So first things first, obviously, needs assessment was done, and a lot of research was done to make it, and the data was used to create the program. We found that training was required by the women who are already in the system in order to make them able to get into the global supply chain. Digital literacy, for me, was one of the most key aspects. Why? We're constantly being told that the world has gone digital, it's a digital market, it's a digital world. What that means for me is that it's possibly most beneficial to women. Why? Because it enables anybody, and particularly women, to work from anywhere. And so we built digital skills and digital literacy of the women. Financial inclusion was very important. I found that 6.7% of women in Pakistan have bank accounts. So then we got in touch with banks as well as other financial institutions. When we have our sessions, banks come in, they open bank accounts for our women on the spot, and also therefore then they provide the channel to get into getting loans, whether it's microcredit, whatever it is. Expanding markets was really important. Women, 2 minutes left? Okay. Women have the need to understand where their products are being in demand. So we work with them to understand what they're making and what they're supplying in terms of services. We work with them to understand where Pakistan is already exporting these goods and services. And we also work with them to understand where in the world these services and products are most in need. We facilitate international networking and marketing. A lot of women, we found, have products that they don't know how to brand or market. So we give them instructions and training on how to raise their brands. There's one woman in, for example, Gilgit-Baltistan, who makes I'm told, I haven't had it yet, but the world's greatest honey. But her packaging is all, not attractive. So we help her to build her brand so that it's attractive to the world markets, and now she is exporting that. We also we're very keen on partnering and collaborating with other institutions, including our banks, for example, and other institutions that are in this sphere, so that anything that they can provide our women, our Khadijah women as it is, can be used by them. This is a very unique aspect of the Khadijah program, is our continued support. We've made cohorts of these women who, whenever we find out anything that is happening in the world or in Pakistan, policy shifts or whatever, we let them know so that they can take advantage. And if they have any problems, they can come to us and we can help solve them. The women that we target are very targeted. There are 4 categories of entrepreneurs in Pakistan. We are targeting the category 3 and 4 who have shown readiness or are ready to export. We wish the first 2, the retailers and the fresh grads and everything, really well, but we are very targeted in our invitations to who can benefit from this program. And so with it, we have had a lot of success. We've lowered many of the barriers. And people from Pakistan, our women, have actually gone global. We've taken them, we worked with one of our partners. We took them to Kazakhstan for a trade fair, an international trade fair. They built connections, they built links. Some of our women success stories are, one woman is coming from the most remote areas. She came to our session, she learned about social media marketing, she went back, she built her own website, and she is now exporting goods like bags and shoes all the way to Australia and America. With this, so this is kind of like just one of the successes that we have to show. We believe, however, that doing is believing, and now we want you to get to work. So I'm going to ask Samina to explain 3 scenarios that you're going to be given, and then you're going to solve using the Khadijah framework. So you're going to read it.
We can also.
Yeah, I'll bring out the framework later.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Ms. Pa. We are going to present to you 3 scenarios, and normally it's believed that it's just developing countries who are probably facing trade barriers, or women from developing countries have all those issues. But you'll be surprised how many obstacles there are for the women who want to work or take their business global, even from the developed countries. So the first scenario is from a high-income country, and your scenario is, so the first 2 rows, let's just say, first 2 rows on this side can be the first scenario, the next 3 rows can be scenario 2, and this side can be scenario 3. So the first scenario is Sarah, a female entrepreneur in Canada, owns a sustainable fashion brand that uses ethically sourced materials. She wants to scale her business by exporting to Europe and Asia, but faces challenges such as high competition from established global brands, complex international trade regulations, lack of connection to international buyers. And the question for you to answer is, how can Khadijah Program principles of mentorship, networking, funding, etc. help Sarah in establishing her brand internationally? So first 2 rows. They can, just start thinking. You can talk with each other and just come up with, you have 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
You have 10 minutes. Scenario 2.
So scenario 2, which is the last 3 rows on this side, that's for middle-income countries. And the challenge is, may I have your attention, please?
Can we just listen to the scenarios first, and then you guys can get to work.
May I have your attention, please? So the second scenario is Traman, who owns an agency that provides nursing services in Indonesia, wants to expand her services trade multilaterally, especially to Europe and the Middle East. However, she struggles with domestic regulatory requirements of her target markets, navigating country-specific needs, and limited knowledge of global marketing strategies for her services. Discussion question is, how can training, research, and needs assessment and mentorship from a program like Khadijah help Traman overcome these barriers? So trade and services is a very significant area for women economic empowerment, because as Ms. Pa said, there are plenty of services that women can provide from the comfort of their homes. And 60 to 70% of global GDP is now around services. So we need to work on that. So the third scenario for this side is really from a least developed country. And it is Fatima, an entrepreneur from gems, in the business of gems in Sierra Leone, supplies unfinished products to local dealers who then export them at a great profit margin. She wants to eliminate the middleman and export to the US and European markets herself, but she faces poor access to finance, reliable logistics services, limited digital literacy and e-commerce knowledge, social and cultural barriers and restrictors that restrict women's participation in trade. And the question for you is, how can Khadijah Program approach access to finance, training, digital tools, can help Fatma access international buyers? So just brainstorm for a couple of minutes and come up with three points on what can be the main strategies in your specific scenario. And then one of you can just represent the group and just tell us what you thought was the most relevant point. Is everyone clear on the scenarios? And the Khadijah Women Trade Framework is displayed right in front of you. You can pick. So your toolkit is right here in front of you on the screen. Just take help from here.
As well as in the sheets that
In the sheets
Mariam
that-
is, yeah. Can we have some answers? Scenario 1.
Scenario 1, anyone?
Anybody from scenario 1 want to volunteer and come up here? And
Okay.
come on. What's your name? So you want to stand over there? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Okay. The scenario was.
Is Sarah, do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, let's have scenario 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah's from Canada and she wants to get into global markets. Yeah.
So hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much. I think this exercise is quite important and interesting. So I'm going to go really quickly through what we were talking about, particularly mentorship, networking, and funding. So one of the things that we were talking about, we started with the lack of connections to international buyers through programs like the Khadijah Program. We could perfectly access to trade fairs, which are incredibly important. So Sarah can meet important international buyers. The networking fact is essential in this type of activities. We also talked about possible like trade missions that can be organized to find the exact person and find the target market for her particular brand. The other thing we talked about with the mentorship part in particular is we can get important information with programs such as this one to access the market. So market information is essential, right? Knowing who to contact, how the government processes work, it alleviates the struggle. We did mention that it's incredibly important to actually meet people that have gone through the process before and that have the experience and hear from those people. So when someone's trying to enter a new market. So that was also key. And I think one of the last things that we were also mentioning is the fast track and the importance of having a single point of contact. That can also provide quite relief with all the bureaucracy and processes. So those were like the essential things we were mentioning. And then, of course, through programs like this one, you can also access funding, especially if you're an exporter, such as Sarah. So
Thanks I think very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from scenario 2?
Scenario 2?
Come on. Be brave. Be Khadijah.
Anything. Anyone, please.
Come on, Francesca.
Okay,
all right,
there you have a gentleman.
Morning, everybody.
What's your name?
Waris.
Waris, thanks a lot, Waris.
So we were doing the second question, Trump. I mean, the first challenge that we were discussing was how this lady, Trump, will get to know about this program because she's living in a remote place. So how will she get to this program, Khadijah Program? If Khadijah Program does expand their branding and do a lot of marketing, and I mean go to the areas where women don't have access to internet and global marketing, then they can help her.
That's true.
And second of all, if Khadijah Program provide them with a professional way of supporting them, like funding, and also because they don't have access to global marketing and she doesn't know anything about global marketing, it might be costly as well because we're speaking about two different regions, Europe and Middle East.
Yeah.
Europe is much more costly and it's very hard to get into this market by providing them professional programs and professional trainings.
Nice.
Also teaching them about finance, how not to go bankrupt because it's very competitive business. So by providing all these mentors and programs, I think it will be better for them.
You.
Thank you, Warren.
Thank you.
Volunteer from group 3.
Hi, everyone.
That's scenario 3 for you.
So, I'm Fatima, but I've assumed the role. But my name is Mame. Nice to meet everyone. So, what I would need from the Khadijah network is, first of all, I want to take out the middleman because, well, he's getting all the money and I want the money now.
Nice.
So, I do have unrefined gems. I'm not sure what to do with that. Khadijah will provide me with information which will allow me to then take my raw product and then refine it. Because when it's refined, it looks nicer. You would want to buy it as my audience or my market. So they will provide me with information and mentorship to turn my product into a semi-finished product or a final product to sell direct to the market. And then it will give me the financial tools to know how to protect myself, number one, how to protect the money I get and how to use it to present or to develop the final product. And then it will give me the financial sense to manage my resources, my money, how to look at my sales, what I have to do, what I don't have to do, so I won't go bankrupt. And then in terms of reliable logistics service, because obviously there's the supply chain, the Khadijah Foundation or the program will teach me how to use that supply chain to my advantage. So it's going to teach me basically how to eliminate the middleman or middlemen as much as possible so that I have more direct contact to the direct market. Then in terms of digital training, now somebody who always shops online, I'm the typical buy online, buy online. So imagine if now Khadijah has a platform to take nice pictures, to put it online, and then link it to a page where now people can pay with e-cash, basically. So then again, the money comes directly to her, and the Khadijah network will help me do that. And then another thing we learned was the fact that there's a gender struggle, right? She feels like she's a small person in this big world. But then once the Khadijah network comes in, she knows about the examples of other small people that are doing big things. One, she's empowered. Two, she sees examples that she can see herself like this can be me or this is me. And then it gives her confidence. And then number three, it makes her feel like gender is nothing. You know, it starts to melt away. And then she sees who she is as a real person and not as something that's defined as she's a woman, number one. She's from a less developed country, number two. And then all of a sudden, it's like the world is against her. All of a sudden, by being part of the Khadijah network, she feels like someone. She has the platform, she has the visibility, and then she's also seen. So all those things make Khadijah feel better. It makes Khadijah better. It gives her the skills to bring you a final product. For example, it's now refined. Instead of just stones, now she has a gem that you can use for a necklace, a bracelet. I'm in Ghana. I can ship it and buy it online. She can buy it online, and that's the best way to go around it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
In fact, many of you have talked about the success stories. I just want to introduce this lady on the bottom over here. She is literally somebody that who is a champion. She's the one who came from the most remote area and is now exporting to Australia, America, and is dealing with China as well. And also, she is one of our kind of like success stories that who is our spokesperson as well. And she's even going around the country and being that success that people can emulate. So I really appreciate that. We are now just going to, I think we have a couple of minutes for questions
or comments.
And, yeah. How much time do we have? A couple of minutes, I think. 2 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Hi, where does your funding come from and where's the program?
Tough. So it is a program that the government of Pakistan has set up in a company called Pakistan Single Window for Trade. This is where it is established, but it is kind of like gone beyond that now. It is Pakistan owned at this point. And funding, what we do when we need to do our sessions is we do work with partners and collaborate with other institutes and organizations in this area who then we kind of like co-fund the sessions, and that's how we do it. Yeah. Yes?
Is there any charge for that?
No. Absolutely none. Yeah. Unless you want to pay me. Yes.
So how do you identify these women, or is there a page you can just go to, and then how do you select them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Do you want to take that?
No.
So it's quite a vigorous process of women selection. Like I said, 4 categories of women entrepreneurs and businesses in Pakistan. The first two are almost out of our area of our scope. The third and the fourth are wholesale producers that provide to wholesale, and then the export-oriented businesses. When we go to any remote town or city, we target them through, we invite them through, first we go to the chambers of commerce, we go to any other industries who might be working in this area. We get lists from them. We send out an application, they apply, then we actually vet them to see if they can actually benefit from this program, as in they have developed businesses enough that they could get into international trade, and then we invite them, and then they become part of our Khadijah women.
I think I just will make one final comment that the lady here said that by being part of Khadijah program, you feel as if you belong to a community. So that's the whole idea, that there is this international community of women who believe in their own potential and who can, in actualizing their own potential, become a source of development for their own country and for the entire world in the end. So thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Both of us are really honored and privileged to be presenting Pakistan's case for soft power at this forum. And I hope all of you take away something from this workshop, including maybe breaking the taboos regarding how empowered Pakistani women are.
Yeah. Thank you.